Namaste. I am Dr. Robert Henry Schwenk, aka Dr. Bob for You, excuse me, coming to you from Norwalk, Ohio, and Studio for You. All information you might like to have can be found at the end of this video. Comments and questions are always welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, you can place your comments in the section below. Today's idea is this: to be happy is the meaning of life, and fearing the strength you possess within. Wow. The person sitting in front of me had brought a challenge to my counseling ability that I had never experienced before. Grace was a thin person with braided blonde hair, about 26 years old. She seemed bright, enthusiastic, and competent in her activities in my coaching community. I was surprised to see her sitting there with a problem. Well, she came right to the point when she said, "I am stuck in my life. I'm afraid to seek new experiences. I'm afraid to start new relationships." She was not yet married or in a committed relationship. "I'm afraid to travel." Well, these were positive things about which to be frightened. Therein is the challenge that I had never had before: someone for whom all appeared well, and yet afraid of growing, expanding her world. She was afraid of her own possible competence. We explored the probable foundations for her fear. There seemed to be nothing in her earlier life that led her to think the way she did. Then she made a remark that revealed what was going on with Grace. She said, "I am afraid I have used up my good luck. I have accomplished so much that I am frightened that the next big thing I try must end in disaster. I am just stuck." I asked, "Do you think you have run out of good fortune?" "No, Dr. Bob, but how long can I go on this fortunate life and not run into a reversal?" You're not afraid of failure," I said. "You are afraid of your own ability." Well, that remark caused a significant pause in the conversation. While Grace was thinking, I was trying to understand what I was saying as well. I wondered how many people were afraid of their own light in the darkness. It is much easier to follow what one knows already, whether negative or positive. It is much easier to follow your heritage and traditions rather than striking out into new territory, preferring the stability of the known. The fear of one's own power can come upon anyone. Many would rather not look into the face of their own light. This feeling can be found in persons who are leading lives of ill-being. It can infect the lives of those who are living in well-being. How to help someone see their own fear of their own aptitude? After several minutes of thought, Grace said, "You mean I am afraid to succeed? That I might be overwhelmed by what I could accomplish?" She had seen the light herself. We talked some as she explored almost all on her own how she was dismayed at the thought of what she might accomplish. It might be very different than she was used to. She was not alone in her angst. As I said earlier in this blog, this same challenge happens in the lives of those who are fortunate and those who are unfortunate. Many folks are afraid of their own clout. I know of a young man, for example, who has an excellent mind, yet he will not go outside of his comfort zone where he is king because his intellect is well beyond those of his friends. I know of a middle-aged woman, for another example, who has put off finding a career because she is afraid of all the responsibilities of acting in any vocation. The point is, some folks are afraid of their own strength. They are afraid to put themselves out there because they're not sure they want or can handle the increased personality load. They settle for the devil they know, as opposed to new devils they might find. I gently confronted Grace with these observations. At first, the color drained from her face. I knew then that I had hit the problem. She slowly nodded her head in recognition of herself. "What you do with your strengths, Grace," I said, "is up to you, of course, but you cheat yourself out of significant success if you do not try." "I'm still frightened," she replied, "but I will try." It was months coming, but I saw that she had entered into a relationship with one of the single men in the coaching community. Then came the marriage at which I officiated. It was still too soon to know if Grace lived happily ever after, but she had made a start. I urge you, the reader or viewer, to not be afraid of your own competence. You will remain mired in discontent if you never move out of your comfort zone and try new adventures. Do not be afraid of the power within you. This has been Dr. Bob for You. Comments and questions are welcome. Remember these words from Sam Keen. The power, potential, promise of your being is integral to being becoming itself. Namaste.